Hello, it's time for another tutorial. I don't often do nude looks, you probably know that if you've watched my channel more often. But this time I wanted to do a nude look because I haven't done so in a while, and lately I think I've been doing a lot of makeup looks that aren't exactly wearable, so yeah, this time I just wanted to do something that can actually be worn in normal daily life. Yeah, I mainly used the Naked Street Palette by Urban Decay, but of course you can use something cheaper. Personally, I think the Catrice Absolute Matte and Absolute Nude Palettes combined are pretty much the same. So yeah, and that's basically all I have to say about it. Let's get started. Because this is sort of a nude look, I didn't want to use a full coverage foundation, so instead I used the BB Cream by Garnier. And I did actually apply sunscreen before this because lately I've been really into using SPF in all my face products basically, and this one doesn't have SPF on its own, so I just used a separate one. And for concealer I used the Match Perfection one by Rimmel, which I used both for concealing under my eyes and also for highlighting on my nose and forehead. And then I just blended it all out with a Real Techniques brush. And the powder I used, as usual, is the one by Catrice Nude Illusion powder. And also, as usual, I first just put the powder underneath my eyes and on top of my eyelid. Just because if I wait with that, then, you know, there will be already lines in it. And I also sort of highlighted my jawline with it. And I also put it on my nose and forehead, mainly because that's where I get oiliest the quickest and I want the most powder there. And then I just use fluffy powder brush to blend it all out. And then for contouring, I use the Make Revolution Ultra Sculpt and Contour Kit, I think it's called. I'm not sure, I'll just put it down below in the description box. And yeah, again, because it's sort of a more natural look, I used a stippling brush by Sigma. Just because it blends it better and yeah, it just looks more natural, I think. Then for my eyes, I started out with the Maybelline Quality 2 in Crème de Rose. Still my favorite primer, and especially for nude looks, of course, because it's a nude shade, it's perfect. And as I said in the beginning, I mainly use the Naked Street Palette by Urban Decay. If you don't have this one, you can always use, you know, whatever other nude palettes you do have. And yeah, I just started out with a blending brush and a taupe shade, and I just put it in the crease to make blending easier later on. Then I moved on to an almost white shade and a smaller eyeshadow brush to highlight the inner corner and also just around the tear duct. And then I moved on to a shimmery shade, sort of, yeah, skin color-ish. Not really darker or paler than my natural skin tone, it just has shimmers. Applied on most of my eyelid, and then on the inner corner I applied an even paler shimmer shade. I used Strange, the white shade underneath that, because this one is sort of sheer and I did want it to actually be brighter there. And then I moved on to a slightly darker shimmery shade and just applied that in the center of the area underneath my eye. Lower lash line, basically. Yeah. And then in the outer corner of the lower lash line I applied a darker brownish shimmer shade. So basically I just used a whole lot of shimmers. And then I used a angled brush and the same color to fill in the outer V and the crease. And at this point I'm not really blending it yet, I'm really just applying it and making sure it's relatively even on both eyes. And that's pretty much it. And then I also wanted the outer corner to be even darker, so I used the black shade, well, black with red glitters in it really, on a really small round brush and really only dabbed that on the outer corner. As you can see here. And then I just used a fluffy blending brush again to blend it all out. And I mainly focused on the crease itself in this part, because for blending out the crease towards, you know, the rest of my eye, basically, yeah, towards the brow bone, I used a bit of a taupe shade and just used that as a transition color. This makes it look more smooth, natural. And as usual I almost forgot to highlight my brow bone, so I did that as well at this point. Just use a paler shade for that. I didn't want to use shimmer on my eyebrows, or, you know, brow bone underneath my eyebrows, yeah. Because there's already a lot of shimmer on the eye. And then I used an IsaDora gel eyeliner, just to darken up the outer corners of my eyes. Only on the upper eyelid. And basically I didn't really want to do an eyeliner, I just needed something, you know, to hide the lash band of the false lashes that I'm going to use later. And for my waterline I used a white JCat pencil this time. And just, you know, filled them in. Yep. And this time both the eyelashes and the glue I used are by Peggy Sage. I don't have a lot of footage of me applying the lashes because I seriously fail at keeping my face in screen while applying false eyelashes. But yeah, it's a lot easier with this glue than with the glue that I used a few times before. And this is how the eyelashes look then. And yeah, then for my eyebrows I used the NYX Tame and Frame eyebrow pomade in the shade Chocolates. I do need to be careful with it because otherwise it's slightly too dark, but it's the warmest shade I have, so it looks best with my hair color. And I just draw in the underside and the outer corners and then just basically fill them in, brush them through, and that's pretty much it. I don't really spend all that much time on my eyebrows really. For mascara I use the Sexy Pulp by Yves Rocher. I'm always sort of careful when applying it to falsies because I don't want to risk completely ruining the falsies. So I just applied it on my top lashes very carefully and then applied a good amount on my lower lashes. Then it's time for blush. I'm using the Catrice Illuminating blush in Coral Me maybe. Yep. It already has shimmer, so I decided not to also apply a highlighter because again there's a lot of shimmer on my eyes already. Then for the lips I started out with a sort of nude lip pencil by Catrice. It's called Reach the Peach. And basically I usually use this one when I'm using a lipstick color that isn't necessarily the same as any lip pencil I have. But the shade is in real life similar enough to my lip color that it doesn't really stand out with lipstick on top of it, so yeah. And the lipstick I use is a really old one by Chic. I think it was part of a makeup kit I once bought when I was like a teen. So that makes it very, very old. It really tastes like really cheap lipstick. But I do really like the color, so yeah, that's why I still use it. So it's a really nice sort of pinkish nude shade, as you can see. And I didn't want the lips to be shimmery and shiny, so I also applied this lip gloss by Rimmel. Can't remember the name right now, but again I'll put it down below in the description box. And I mainly just filled in the highest points of my lips, just to make them extra shiny. And that was already the last step of the tutorial. So this is the finished look. Hope you enjoyed watching this. Thank you very much for watching and see you next time. Bye! A little bit more. Yep. We started out defining the actual black line. And then I went on with a